Welcome to FootballGameplan.com, where football makes sense. Alongside the czar of the playbook, Emery Hunt, I'm Tyler Merkovich, and this is the Seattle Seahawks' 2009 team preview. And Emery, in 08, riddled with injuries, Holmgren's worst year ever at 4-12. They said there was a rift between the Mora followers and the Holmgren camp. Holmgren out after his worst year ever. Mora in. Between 04 and 07, this franchise had 41 wins. Can they get back to that consistency level? They're going to get Matt Hasselbeck back, finally from injury, and they signed him a big weapon free agent from Cincinnati, T.J. Houshmandzadeh.
I like Matt Hasselbeck. I always did. I think he makes great decisions with the football. He's a good guy in the locker room. He's a leader. He's a guy you would want to play for if you were a receiver or a lineman. He's a real good guy. Now, the question is, how healthy is Matt Hasselbeck? Is that back is going to hold up for 16 games? Is that O-line is going to protect him for 16 games to keep that back healthy? But he does have some new targets to throw to. He has T.J. Houshmandzadeh, tough one. He has Nate Burleson back. He was unhealthy last year. Deion Branch was unhealthy. You know, they bring in another guy. You know, they drafted Deion Butler from Penn State, explosive guy that's going to help him, you know, underneath routes and slants and everything. So he has some new weapons. He's going to do fine as long as he's able to be healthy.
Also, a rookie who broke out last year out of Notre Dame, the tight end, John Carlson.
Yeah, Carlson is a guy. I'm not big on fantasy football, but if I had a fantasy football pick, John Carlson will be the guy to select because he's going to have a breakout year even more so than he did last year, because this is a guy from Notre Dame that can get down the middle of the field, work the middle, always has an advantage over linebackers and strong safety. So he is a big-time target. And when Hasselbeck had a tight end, these guys made moves down the field and was able to win a lot more games.
Offensive line, this is where this team has been built the last couple of years. Banged up Walter Jones back at left tackle, Mike Wall left guard, good left side, Chris Spencer also. Is their offensive line going to get back to what we're used to seeing in those mid-2000s?
What happened last year was something of a rarity. Walter Jones, the big rock on the left side, was injured, and so that kind of, you know, threw off the entire offensive line. He's back healthy, but he's 35. He's coming off a knee injury. How healthy is he? How good can he be after that injury? But I think the rest of the line, to me, was like that. You know, it's kind of average. Even when they are healthy, they kind of like, you know, so because they really need Walter Jones. So I'm hoping Walter Jones can come back and be healthy. I mean, they picked up Max Unger, the second-round pick, can play 3 positions. He can play both guard positions plus a center. He's a versatile guy, and he's going to help start that youth movement on that offensive line. And with a strong offensive line, if they continue to rebuild, that's going to help out that running back situation with Julius Jones and T.J. Duckett. Duckett is a terror in the red zone toward the goal line. And with Julius Jones, he's a little shifty guy out the backfield. He can catch. Problem is, with those two guys, you really have, you know, none. You know, so they need a big guy in the middle, in that backfield, a real bell cow running back. That's their biggest weakness on offense.
5 wide receivers were banged up last season. Defensive side of the ball, underrated bunch. They lose Julian Peterson, who's been old, but they draft a guy out of Wake Forest, a terror. He could probably make an impact, the best impact out of all the rookies that were drafted. 4th overall from Wake Forest, Aaron Curry. He's going to team along with Lofa Tatupu, a great linebacker, Leroy Hill also.
Yeah, Seahawks and the 49ers have probably one of the best linebacking cores in the league. With Lofa Tatupu and Aaron Curry coming in from that Wake Forest defense, you can't go wrong with a Wake Forest defensive player as of recent times. They also have D.D. Lewis, is a good guy, you know, good backup, solid guy. You start Leroy Hill as well too, so they have a real solid linebacker core. All 3 guys can make plays in the passing game, which is a key. You know, so I think that's important. But their success all depends upon that front 4. You know, they run a 4-3. Kearney was a guy that was injured last year, but he's always been their best defensive lineman. So they need other guys to come in and step up right away. They're a little undersized. They bring in Cole from the Green Bay Packers last year. He's a big guy, 330 pounds, so he's going to provide some beef up front. Hopefully that can keep those linemen off those linebackers and help out that linebacking core.
Brandon Mebane needs to step up. He's been an underachiever at D-tackle. They also pick up Corey Redding from the Lions. So that defensive line, let's see if they could make it happen. And the secondary, Marcus Trufant, who was once called one of the best corners in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Lucas comes over from Carolina. He's gonna play opposite of him. And they also got Kelly Jennings and Josh Wilson, 2 young guys who stepped up last year.
They have the best secondary in the division, and I know the Arizona Cardinals may have something to say about that. But I like the Seahawks secondary. They're ball hawks, pun intended, but they are pretty good back there. Trufant is a guy that quarterbacks are now starting to throw away from, so that's a mark of how good you are. You do mention Kelly Jennings and Josh Wilson. Those are nickel and dime guys, but they can step in and be a starter in a pinch if you need to. So it's good to have that depth in the secondary, because a lot of teams nowadays go to 3, 4, 5 wide receiver sets, and you need the cover guys back there to cover. And they bring in Ken Lucas from the Panthers this year. Big guy, he's about 6 feet, 200 pounds, so he can be more physical to match up with Trufant's nastiness and tenacity on that other side.
Special teams, Josh Wilson showed he could his return ability. What's the forecast for this unit?
Well, Josh Wilson is a good guy to have as a kick returner. Nate Burleson, he's healthier now, so he can return punts as well. But also be on the lookout for Deion Butler, from Penn State, the return guy. He did some returns at Penn State, so he's explosive, he's young, got fresh legs, so he's going to be more dynamic in a return game. So that way he might be able to pull Burleson off that special teams unit.
Well, Seattle has owned the NFC West until last year. Can they get back to their prominence in the division?
Not this year. The class of the division are your Cardinals and 49ers. They're battled out for the Rams for that last spot, but I think they're a little bit better than the Rams on offense. So I look for the Seahawks to finish 3rd in that division. It's usually they dominate the division, but they're working their way back up. This is Moore's first year as a head coach in Seattle, so give them a year, 2 years, 3 years, and this team be back up in front like they used to be. But this year, 3rd in the division.
That's a Zarda Playbook. Emery Hunt. I'm Tyler Merkovich. For more NFL team previews for this upcoming season, visit footballgameplan.com/NFL.